My name is Inbar. I work for the Division of Research, Economics and Strategy at the Ministry of Agriculture. And I'm in charge of statistics and policy, or rather the interconnections between statistics and policy in our office. So this is the new policy defined by our new minister recently. The ministry works towards the development of Israel's agriculture in the spirit of Zionist values, safekeeping of the country's land and resources, ensuring fresh and quality food supply for the residents of Israel, and leveraging the relative advantages of the Israeli agriculture. And of course, all of this requires statistics. Nothing else and nothing more. So, we started with inventory of statistics in our ministry, and you have to read all of this and memorize it by heart because there will be an exam afterwards, especially the ones from Denmark, because it's in Hebrew. I really don't want you to memorize this. I cherry-picked 3 examples for later on. But what I wanted to show in this table is that we have many kinds of statistics. And when we started with the inventory, it seemed like an easy enough task. I emailed all the heads of all the departments and told them, please tell me what kind of statistic you produce, which seems easy. And then it turned out that it's not easy at all, because first there was the question of what is statistics, and you talked about it a lot, so I'm not going over it again. But then, what is producing? If I take data from the insurance companies and from the growers' organizations, and I compile it together, did they produce statistics, or did they just have I taken something that was already there and I'm not producing anything? So it was very difficult to tell whether or not we're producing statistics. And the other thing I wanted to show you in this table is that most of the statistics is not according to international standards. Only the yellow ones are according to some standard which is defined internationally. Most of them go to the OECD or to the FAO or to the International Monetary Foundation. And so all of this group related to fisheries. And most of our standards, the local standards are almost inexistent. And most of it is not collected according to any standards at all, just ones defined by our departments. So I will go through 3 examples, each relating to a certain kind of standard. The first one is the wholesale market prices, which is collected by our staff. 2 people from our staff go to the wholesale market, and they each and every day they ask the sellers, how much did you sell this tomato for? How much did you sell this cucumber? And there is no actual standard to collecting this data. We are working with statisticians and with Moshe from the CBS, but actually it goes down to a woman asking questions.
In a very tough audience.
To a very tough audience. Yeah, most answers are, why do you care? But she gets the work done, so we have the data. It's not really an international viable data, but we have data we can work with, which is very important. And our audience for this data is the farmers and the wholesalers themselves, the retailers that buy from them, the general public who is more and more interested to know about the price gap between the wholesale and the retail market. and of course the government officials ranging from the Ministry of Agriculture to all other institutes, governmental institutes that set policies. Now we have another example, which is the data collected from farmers applying for foreign workers. We have a Department of Planning, which is in charge of collecting data on resources, on production resources like water and land, and unfortunately or fortunately foreign workers. And each farmer that applies for foreign workers has to fill out a mini survey related to the land he has, the kind of crops they grow, the kind of water they use. And this is very good and concrete data that we can use for policy making. It is limited because it covers only the farmers that apply for foreign workers. And this is an assessment of how much it covers in each category of products. In citrus we have a good coverage, in vegetables we have good coverage. In fruits we have reasonable coverage. In flowers we have I think it's the only data available in flowers at this time, because CBS doesn't have data related to flowers.
We do. We restarted the data.
Good. And in field crops we have very bad coverage because most of the farmers do not apply for foreign workers. The third and last example is the data collected for the OECD. We have annual data compiling for the OECD, which is done mostly by CBS and some by us. And this goes to the category of I don't know whether we produce this data or not, because we compile it, we manipulate it to fit the international standards, but we don't actually collect it or produce it. So it's a question, it's not an answer. And now, where do we fit within the national statistics system? I think we have good cooperation with Moshe all the time. We now plan an agricultural census together. The last agricultural census was in 1981, and we took some time, but we're finally going to make it happen. And we are part of the MedStat, which was mentioned before. And now to summarize, we collect multiple and varied data. We have sometimes data information overload because we have so much data at our hands. We exchange data all the time. We cooperate, not only with the CBS, but with other governmental institutions as well. But we need more standards. We don't have enough standards to work by. We need more primary data collection because as much as we have it, we don't have enough. And we need data cleansing and verification because the data we have is not, sometimes we have contradictory data from various sources and we have to make sure we have the right one. And we need more transparency because other than all the question of definitions, when I approached the heads of departments, some of them tended to keep it to themselves because knowledge is power. I'm sure some of you also see this happening. And transparency is one of the most important issues we have to deal with. Thank you very much.